Hello and welcome to Module 3. We will be continuing our discussion about building blocks in this module. In our first video, we will learn about introductions. As we continue to move up our path of effective public speaking, it's good to note where we have come from. In our prior lesson, we learned about strategy, topic, organization, and outlining. Our next step in the path is introductions and conclusions. It's important to note that during the introduction, your listeners form their initial impression of you and your topic. A strong introduction establishes rapport with listeners in 3 ways. First, by capturing their interest. Second, by orienting them to your speech. And third, by establishing your credibility as a speaker. A good introduction is critical to the success of your speech. As you know, audience members cannot rewind a live speaker to hear what they said again. So it's crucial that the speaker makes sure she or he sets the stage and provides the direction for the audience from the start of the speech. For this class, there are 5 required components of an introduction that we will deal with in our speech process. These 5 required components are: first, gaining your audience's attention; second, the signaling of your thesis statement; third, showing your audience what's in it for them; fourth, establishing your credibility as a speaker; and fifth, previewing your main points. We will continue to break down each of these steps in an introduction into the 5 required components. The first required component of the introduction is to gain your audience's attention. To do this, you need to use material that will capture your audience's attention and interest them at the start of the speech. Throughout the next few slides, we will learn a bunch of ways that you can lasso that audience's attention. The first method to get attention is to tell a story or an anecdote. Stories personalize a speech and entertain listeners. There are a couple of important pieces of information to remember about telling a story, and the first is that you need to make sure that the story is relevant to your main message, and secondly, that the story comes across as believable. It's important to note that you can also continue to weave that same story throughout your speech in all of the different areas and ending up with your conclusion. Our second attention-getting method is to offer a striking or a provocative statement. You do this by surprising listeners with a fact or a startling idea. And this is an opportunity for you to use vivid language to paint a picture to help grab the audience's attention. The third method to get attention is by building suspense. By building suspense, you are providing an ambiguous or an unfinished example to increase your audience's curiosity. It is also important that with building suspense that you make sure that you relieve that suspense later on in the speech. Fourth is to stress similarity. This is when you let your listeners know that you're one of them. Think back to our first week of class. How did I, Professor Dawn, stress similarity with you, the class? Think about that for a moment. Our fifth method is to use humor by putting the audience at ease. Make sure, however, that if you're using humor, that you understand that it is relevant to your topic, audience, and occasion. Humor is also a high-risk, high-reward approach. So take caution in using humor that you're doing it the right way. There is nothing worse than having a joke fall flat. Sixth is a rhetorical question. This is a question that has an obvious answer but does not require a response. When you're utilizing a rhetorical question, make sure that you give the audience an opportunity to listen and think about what you asked. Make sure that you incorporate a purposeful pause. Finally, the last method that we will talk about for gaining an audience's attention is by providing a quotation. This is really a very popular thing to do. This is when you quote someone with high credibility, someone whom your audience already likes and respects. Now that we've introduced how to gain attention, our next required component of the introduction is to signal your thesis statement. A thesis statement is the bottom line. It's the opportunity for you to convey to your audience that you're moving from the attention-getting piece into the details of your speech. It is the point of your speech, it's the bottom line, and it needs to clearly convey your topic and purpose of your presentation. The third required component of the introduction is for you to establish your credibility. You do this by demonstrating your own knowledge and competence. You can briefly and modestly emphasize your recent and or most relevant credentials. Another important thing to consider is the concepts of internal versus external credibility. External credibility is credibility you gain as a speaker by association. This is when you use sources that the audience may find credible and other information that would help you establish your external credibility. Internal credibility comes to you through your own specific actions. Things like being properly attired, making eye contact, speaking clearly, fluently, and confidently, etc. These things all contribute to our ethos or our credibility and are important in establishing ourselves as a speaker early on our speech. The fourth required component of the introduction is to show the audience what's in it for them. This is your responsibility as a speaker when you motivate the audience members to know why you have taken the opportunity to gain their attention, and you also make sure that the message is relevant and important for your listeners. We call this the WIFM method, or the What's in It for Me, the acronym WIIFM. It's important for you as a speaker to establish the WIFM for your audience for each stage. Finally, our fifth and final required component of an introduction is to preview your main points. It's critical to the audience's understanding that you take care in providing a signal to the audience as to what main ideas to expect and the order in which you expect them. A good speaker uses signposts to help listeners understand the structure of the speech. You do this by saying things like first, second, third, first, next, finally, etc. Remember the old adage that we talked about in Module 2. Tell the audience what you're going to tell them, and then tell the audience what you told them. The preview tells us what we're going to tell them, and doing this sets a very strong example and a roadmap for what's ahead. Couple of tips for introducing your speech that I'd like you to remember. Please be sure that any attention-getting device you used is linked to your topic. And second, the introduction is your first chance to help the audience pay attention to and understand your speech. Please make sure that you make it easy for them. In a moment, I'll ask you to pause the video and continue work on your building blocks activity practice sheet. When I ask you to pause, make sure you're working on page 2 or the back page of the sheet, and jot down some ideas as to what you'd like to do for an attention getter for this particular speech. You may pause the video now. Now, we are going to wrap up this first video in Module 3 at this point. We will begin video 2 with the information about concluding your speech. Thank you for your attention.